How we doing today? This is Cam McKay, Brandon Mitchell. We're outside of NLC INK Screen Printing and Embroidery here in Fairfield, Maine. Zach Riddle, 50 T's in 50 states, and we're doing a little tour of our facility.
Yeah, come on in and check it out.
So this is our store front. This is where we have some samples that people can look at, touch, feel, figure out what they want for blank goods. And then we do everything in-house as far as Brandon does all of the graphic design work. Brandon and my wife Jess talk to the customers on the phone, emails, get the order going. That all kind of takes place out here. And then the back is kind of where the magic happens, where the production all happens in-house. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Just a little office space, and dual monitors are nice. Obviously some artwork to spruce it up a little bit, but yeah.
Brandon,
you're the artist, correct?
Yes.
Brandon is an amazing graphic design artist as well as
Acrylics, yeah. Just
actual artist.
Sunday painter is probably more
This
accurate.
is Brandon right here.
Shout out.
Yeah. Does a great job. Brandon's been with me now for
10 years.
10 years.
Wow.
That's
Yep.
right. We just celebrated his 10th anniversary.
Yep.
It started in 2010. So yeah, 10 years.
Yeah.
It's going good. It's going great. This guy's 1 in a billion right here. So
No,
couldn't
thanks.
do it without him. Come on back. This is production space.
Yeah, so pretty much a big open floor plan, set it up to be as efficient as possible. 2 automatic presses. One's fully air and pneumatic. The other one's more electrical. So this is the newer one that we got last year. When they set that up, was
February.
Yep, arrived in February, and they set it up before April. Was that?
Yeah, but
when they
because
came
we
in
had
with
to
the
have
technician?
additional electrical work and everything. Some of this stuff is
Yep.
3-phase, so we had to put in new power. But we got it all up and running, and
And we're pretty much only workhorse in this.
Yes.
building,
That's right.
correct?
That's
Yep.
right.
Aside from probably the one piece is that javelin. Not javelin. The Riley Hopkins press, the manual. Yep.
that we got through a kit through RyanNet. Workhorse has been great.
Yeah, they've been very good to us.
Yep, we actually had a couple little things that weren't quite right with the new machine, and they sent a tech right back out here at no charge and got everything going. And it was like a day or two.
Yeah, and they're always very responsive with the customer service.
Yep.
We call. Sometimes you have to put in a ticket, but you always get answered back, and
Yep. Shout out
very
Phil.
helpful. Yes, Phil.
Workhorse.
Yep, he's the
Phil's
man.
Phil's the man.
Yeah. Yep, workhorse exposure unit, Photo Sharp 1K. So it just has the vacuum seal mat and glass and everything like that.
And what bulb we got going in there?
Had light bulb, so those are, they're pretty penny, but they work well.
We've only on our second metal halide bulb, I
Yep.
think.
Oh wow.
But a great direct point of light, so no shadowing on the exposure, and
Yeah.
creates a nice, really sharp stencil, which makes the printing better. So,
Yep, washout booth. Your basic setup. It's backlit, which is pretty nice.
That is nice.
Makes it easier to see as you're stenciling. You can check for the fine stuff, halftones.
I will
dots.
say too, you guys are one of the only shops that I've seen with this type of.
Oh yeah.
I see the people with the full,
Yep.
like the full gun. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
the
So
little handheld.
the process that we use for reclaiming, you don't require as much pressure.
Yeah.
So really, we don't have to use a full pressure washer
Oh,
kit.
because of,
That's a dip tank, and we have a reclaimer crystal set too. So sometimes screens are more difficult.
wait, what was the second thing you said?
Reclaimer crystals.
What
So
is that?
they're just crystals that you mix with water to. I think it's a 1-to-1 ratio, 1 gallon for 1 teaspoon or something. This is just a little drying area for screens when they're coming out wet. We just leave them in there. But then, and here's the dark room. So we've got the dehumidifier on right now to keep any moisture out of the screens. And this is just a little makeshift template to put on positives, but yeah, this is pretty much where we store them, dark and dry.
all the embroidery equipment's in this nice room where it's kind of sealed off from the noise and heat of the printing. 6-head, a 4-head, and a single. 11 heads for embroidery, which works pretty good
Yeah.
for what we have for work. And our operator is really, he's been doing it a long time. So if we need to really bang stuff out, we can get it done pretty fast. So.
Absolutely. It's also nice to have it contained, keeping t-shirt fibers and lint, which also out there is kind of a big thing, but not as bad for printing. It stays off, but getting collected into the different needle heads and all that.
That's sick.
And then this is all, ink mixing, which is messy in itself, but mostly Wilflex here, a couple damn good brand products. But for the most part, Wilflex. We have the MX mixing system to custom match Pantone colors. But yeah, that's our collection of Pantone colors.
Can you say
That's-
damn good?
I think you could say damn good.
I didn't. And drums.
And drums.
Who plays the drums?
Jim plays.
Not really anybody. Our embroidery guy Jim and Hayden, they can.
Yeah, they can hit it.
They can-
Yeah, it's just fun once in a while to get a little break,
Yeah.
creative outlet. So
I just love
Take
music.
some anger out.
Yeah. It's like
that's what the gym's for.
the gym, smashing on the drums, let out
Yep.
some aggravation. Yep. So all new flashback units for both machines,
Nice.
and then the new printing system. So
I'm a huge fan of the dude over there.
yeah,
too.
Lebowski.
Yes.
Yep, me too. No, we had to get some color in here.
I gotta also shout out Fire Goodell over here because I'm a huge Portnoy, guy.
Yeah.
I'm a Barstool guy till I die.
Yeah, we are all too. Especially one of our printers, Hayden.
Yeah.
He's big Barstool.
Yeah. We're all a part of the. We're rolling to the podcast part of the video now. We're all sitting down here. Brandon to my left, Cam to my right. For you guys, Cam's on the left, Brandon's on the right. Let's get everyone real mixed up and confused before we start this whole interview. But no, we're here at NLC INK in Fairfield, Maine. Already got the shirts printed like 2 weeks ago, almost basically. I think it's 2 weeks ago today, actually. Yeah, it's today. So we're still going strong here in Maine.
The Mondays.
Yeah, the Mondays. Yeah, so excited to still be here in Maine. It's been a fun time so far, but I'm excited to sit down with the interview part for you guys and really dig into the story behind the place and hear how it all came about, how everyone got into the screen print industry themselves here, and then just have a really cool conversation. So Cam, tell me, first time you've ever, take me all the way back prior, you don't know anything about screen printing. You've never heard of any, and then start it from there. What happens? What is the process from there?
So I was in pharmaceutical sales, and then I got into I started another company with my sister and her husband, home healthcare company.
Okay.
And did that for a little over 4 years, almost 5 years.
So we've always been entrepreneurial.
Kind of, yes. Yep.
In some fashion.
This was the second company I started from the ground.
And what year is this roughly around?
So I started the home healthcare company with my sister and her husband. I think it was 06, 07 was when we really got up and rolling. And so then fast forward about 4 years, almost 5 years, I basically got a little burnout on that industry. I thought I might get back into more sales, corporate sales that I was doing before, and that industry was kind of shrinking, and I wanted to stay in this area. This is where I was born and bred.
Okay.
Oakland, Maine. It's about 20 minutes from here. That's where I live now. I actually live in the house I grew up in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Was there in between owners of not the family?
Nope.
It's
Nope.
always been in your family.
Unfortunately, both my parents passed relatively quickly
Okay.
of one another. I do have a sister. She was very happy in her home and beautiful home in a big field. She's a big hunter, fisherman. A lot of people
Nice.
up here in Maine are.
Yeah.
And she's just very content there. It's like a wildlife reserve.
Oh, nice.
So we worked it out where I was able to buy it from.
Nice.
At that point, it was my mother's estate. So, yeah. So my son is growing up in the room that I grew up in.
That's
Pretty
crazy
amazing,
cool.
pretty
Yeah.
amazing. So I got out of the home health care. I was kind of interviewing. Thought I might get back into, like I said, corporate sales, something like that. But then I ran into an old friend for like back in the day, and he was customizing apparel and items. He was using sublimation, sub-digital cut, heat press processes, and we kind of just reconnected. And then it just kind of got me thinking about the industry in general, and I started researching it, talking to people that ordered a lot of apparel every year for their business or for schools or sports. And I've always been an athlete, always like that kind of side of it. And I've always kind of been OCD, and it just kind of struck me as like something that, I could sink my teeth into.
Struck your interest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enough to like dig into it a little bit. Yeah.
So we had a mutual friend who was a graphic designer, and he had screen printed for his uncle and for other people kind of in northern Maine. So we kind of brought him in. So the three of us kind of just started. We took a big loan, and we got the equipment and the initial stuff and some embroidery equipment, and we just kind of hit the, from the bare ground and just built it up.
And this is all based off of, remind me of that guy's name who had been screen printing already? Like
He really hadn't been screen printing. He was doing sublimation. He was doing like anniversary mugs. He had basically had a website on the side where he was doing like little kind of gift type things.
Okay.
And then he also had a digital cutter.
Yeah.
Plotter, where
Yeah.
he could cut material.
Vinyl. Yeah.
Vinyl.
Yeah.
And heat seal it. So low.
So who did you guys teach yourselves how to screen print? Who initially like?
So then the mutual friend.
Yes, that
kinda
guy.
knew how to do it.
Kind of knew how to do
Well, no,
it.
he did.
Okay,
He did,
okay.
but we didn't know anything. So he kind of taught us slowly.
Okay. So that's
But-
what I kind of like to learn is like certain people that's like the process as to like how they end up learning actually how to do it is different for everyone. It's interesting because some people end up. It is a lot like having some sort of like essentially like being an apprentice. You know what I mean? But under some master like screen printer, or sometimes you're basically like on the fly. Like a lot of times, like running into you run into problems that you just have to face in that moment, and then you learn obviously from them, hopefully, that you'll never make some of those mistakes again.
So
but
I'm going to pass this mic real fast to my boy Brandon
There you go.
Mitchell.
Let me make sure it's
No, just so we're all clear. And it was No Limit Custom Ink. We almost got sued by Custom Ink, so I had to change the name to NLC Ink because I didn't want to get sued by them, like $500 million company at the time, like 10 years ago. So I made it 4 years with my original business partner, and about 3.5 years with the original printer graphic designer, who really kept everything pretty close to the chest because he was a self-proclaimed jerk, and God bless him, he's passed now, unfortunately. He was a nice guy, and I did like him as a person, but working with him was never easy, and he knew that. So he was kind of like, anyway. We didn't really take the step we needed and allowed us to go into the future as a company and thrive until we met this kid. So fast forward, my business partner and I kind of at each other's throats. Wasn't really good there. Then the printer, I basically got in touch with Brandon, and as soon as I knew that Brandon was going to be on board, I fired the guy.
yeah.
So it was either going to work or wasn't with Brandon, but then I'm going to pass it over to him.
Yeah, so I basically just wanted to do art my whole life. My father was an artist. He made comic books by hand. And I always just wanted to draw and looking over his shoulder and ask him how to do stuff. So then, life kind of came around, and I was in high school, and I went to a vocational school. I went to CATSI in Augusta, and they taught me how to screen print. I learned under Paul Solois, who is the old master. And he's a crazy guy who likes to dirt bike down in South America, stuff like that, and prints T-shirts. But he knew the whole process. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, no, he's a great guy, and
He sounds like someone I should definitely try.
yes,
to
Paul.
Great guy. And
Paul is
I
a
met
great
this
guy.
guy like 3 times
Really?
because he was so protective of this kid. And he's like, I have one kid that was like above and beyond, like the best student I ever had. And I'm like, well, and he's
I'm
like,
not letting you take him.
he like give me his initials, and like a few months later, he give me like a first name. I'm like, am I ever gonna get to meet this kid? I thought he was Stuffaluffagus. So like, anyway, fast forward like 4 months after I met with his professor like 3 times.
Yep. Yep, and so I had learned under Paul in high school still, and then I ended up going to CMCC, which is a community college in Augusta. They have a graphic arts program, and it turns out Paul had stopped working at the CATSI program and went to the college. So I had Paul again as another teacher.
You told me that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So and I was working at a traditional offset print shop close to me, and it was long hours, and it's not as fun as you don't get to design anything. You're just loading paper in a machine. And he's like, "Are you happy there?" And I was like, it's a job. It pays well." He goes, "You might want to give these guys a call," and gave me Cam's number.
Were you going to school during the day and working nights too?
Yeah, I was. So because
and had a young,
Yep, me and my beautiful wife. Now we got pregnant in high school and had a kid at 18, and you kind of have to just buckle down and work hard and reroute and find your way. So.
Dude, you found it. Props to you, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hell of a lot of hard work put into it, yeah.
But he finished off his 2-year graphics communication degree in college while working for me and getting to start here, right?
Yeah, even got partial credit
Yeah.
for working
Yeah.
in the field, so
Yeah.
that helped me out there
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
Yeah.
You needed some young gun to be whipping up on Photoshop and
That all helped. And to be honest, just a young, nice person that wasn't a self-proclaimed asshole, and somebody that we could kind of thrive off each other.
yes,
Because
mold him into the man.
he was
is.
molded. He was
molded.
already ready.
Paul had already.
Paul had done that. He was ready to hit the ground running. It was amazing how much he could do on his own at such a young age.
That's cool.
I've been impressed with this kid every step of the way. So
That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so we changed our name after Custom Ink almost sues
Legal
us.
counsel. 'Cause
Yes,
one of our
yes.
customers reached out to them. Is like, there's some confusion.
Honestly, you should have that frame. I'm mad you don't have that framed up in here with and then you holding that,
Yeah.
holding a middle finger next
Right,
to it.
right.
And take a picture of that and then frame that next to it. I think that would be sick.
It surprised me how fast it happened that we got contacted by them, and I was like, crap, because we were just into marketing the business. To be honest, it was really.
Did you know who they were?
Well, the name was thought up by my ex-business partner, and he really liked it. It kind of sounded sporty. I never really loved it anyway, so it wasn't that hard for me to just abbreviate it.
Yeah.
It's a long.
But did you know who Custom Ink was at the time before they sent the letter?
Not really. I didn't really know how big they were.
You're like,
and they
well,
this is part of legal counsel for one company. Like, oh crap! So,
Yeah, we gotta
At
change
that
it
point,
up.
I'm like, these guys are big. I looked them up. They're like $500 million company. I'm like, we're not fighting that. So, let's just remarket our
yeah.
logo.
Well, the new logo is sick. The old one was
People
different.
ask all the time, what does it stand for? I'm like, nothing.
Nothing, letters, something.
Never lacking creativity. Like,
Never
we all
lacking-
have some things that in this room, it's just NLC. It's NLC.
I love that. And then we had talked about it in the tour a little bit, but you had taken over, a shop at some point. So,
Yes.
what is the? I did take a picture of that. I'll throw it in there for sure. Custom ink stuff happens, but what's the scaling look like as far as there till now? You taking over a company is not just something any other company does. It's not just how do we get to there? So
We've done really well because just our quality and customer service kind of got the ball rolling, and every year we naturally grow. We naturally just grow, and then I started talking with Jeff Lucas, is the owner who started Black Dog Graphics, and again, this is a few years ago. We bought him out just before the pandemic, but he'd been doing it for 26 years, and he had a lot of the business in the area. I mean, it's rural Maine, but actually this area is a really good area to have a company like this because there's a lot of colleges. There's some pockets of business and some good sized businesses
And
in
summer
the area.
camps too in the area with the lakes.
A lot of summer
Yep.
camps, right?
Yep.
So he had several big summer camps kind of locked down, and I love how people stay with the company.
I was about to say, a lot of
It's-
places like that, they don't want to have to
they're
deal
loyal.
with
Yeah.
trying to find a new person.
Yep.
Right.
The same one number you call,
Yeah.
they already know.
They know what you got last year. They know what you're looking for. They know.
Exactly,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So the loyalty, I love that because it does go both ways. But so we were able to work with him. I think I met with him like 3 or 4 years in a row, like around Christmas, and we just talk shop. And I'd be like, because he at one point, right when Brandon was getting ready to start, we were thinking about joining forces then. So that was several years before. And I don't exactly know what happened. I don't know what happened. I think my ex-business partner and him didn't, whatever. But it worked out perfect because fast forward, he was basically like, I'm looking to get done. I want to join forces, but his wife is having a baby, and he's like, I'm basically going to want to retire within a short period of time. So we finally came together, and we were able to acquire a lot of business that he had locked down for a long time. So
yeah, and
it was
it's
a
also
great move.
it was also something that makes it easier having, as Jeff would work with us or be like very open to answering questions, having files from the customer's previous orders, because that's usually the biggest thing is, do you have my logo? What can I get it on? Like, how much is it going to cost to set this up? And having that information is key to a lot of people.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, he was very, very helpful. He'd go on sales calls with me, introduce us as the new company together. He did everything that it took to facilitate, and we had a great, as far as our ratio, I was above 90% as far as
Making it
customers.
smooth.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it was a very smooth transition.
And he was kind of
Yeah.
old school too, so that helped. We were obviously good at invoicing and using emails and all these things that he wasn't doing maybe all the time.
Yeah, you were kind of like, like it wasn't like he was ahead of y'all,
Right,
and you had to catch up to him. It was
Right.
kind of like you were catching his stuff up to you guys.
But he's a legend. I mean, yeah, he was a legend. Well, he made his money to start his print business in Clinton, Maine, from doing concert posters and bumper stickers for like Grateful Dead and stuff.
Yeah,
And
that's
he traveled around and made.
a different level of hustle to
Yeah.
to like use your own skills to fund yourself to start your own business. It's just like that's I mean and to end up doing it for 30 years. That's very something that you should definitely look up to within the industry. I mean that he definitely sounds like he was really cool printer as well.
Very
So
cool guy. Very cool.
it's cool that it's like that's now a part of NLC
Yes,
too.
he
You know what I
is.
mean?
And
It's
and Dave Woods too.
And Dave came over and he was a big because they did everything manual.
Yeah,
So Dave Woods, great guy too. They were like a 2-man team.
No, the sign looks handmade too.
So
Yeah.
we'll always keep that around.
That's
Very
sick.
proud of that forming that partnership.
I know you have to leave here soon, so I want to one question that is for both of you guys though, real quick though. What are things you guys do on a daily basis? Because my whole thing for the tour is my motto, is invest in yourself. So I believe, that's like something that people should definitely try and live by, and that means investing in yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, and there could be multiple different ways to do it. And the reason why I think it's big to invest in yourself is because if you want to invest into others, you got to charge up your own battery first to be able to like
100%.
give it out. If you're just like not charged and you're trying to give out, you're only hurting yourself, and then you're not helping anyone else really. So you're in turn really only hurting others too. So what are things you guys do on like a daily basis? Like, in general, one to like kind of keep burnout from like work, you know what I mean? So like either just hobbies you have outside of work, like because it's like it's a little tough because it's like your hobby, which is art in a sense, and graphic design is art.
Yeah.
It's like it mixes, and in my world it mixes too, because it's like a lot of my hobbies I end up turning into a business, and it kind of sucks, which is why like golf like is kind of my one outlet that I haven't fully like turned into like a business. But like, what are things you guys do on a daily basis to invest in yourself? Like, what is something you're doing, to make sure that you got a fresh mind coming in here to make sure the best quality product comes out to the people.
Sure. You want to take it first?
You go.
All right. So usually I drain my battery as much as possible. I'm a very I like to do stuff hands-on. I work here and then I go home and I cook dinner and I do dishes and me and my wife watch a show and I love playing with my daughter, and she's 10 now, so it's a little easier to be like, go play a video game or go out and go fishing, like at 7 o'clock and it's almost dark, but just being surrounded by love, I think, from my family and from work, and You know, my brother lives right next door to me, so he's always there for a quick laugh. Like, I think that's what, you know, gives me kind of the fuel. And I think, like you said about having a hobby that's the same as what you do, I do, like at work, you know, everybody tells me what they want on a shirt, or they say come up with an idea, and at home I can do my own thing. So like,
there's no rules yet.
yeah. So I think doing that is fulfilling for me, and just thinking about the accomplishments of the day and the challenge that's ahead, because it's always a new challenge in here every morning, and I like getting in early and trying to tackle it.
Nice. That's sick. That was a fucking incredible answer. Holy
Pretty good.
shit.
Yeah, I should have gone first.
Follow that up. Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Just to point on it, every night this kid makes like art for food for his family.
I was gonna dive into it. I was like, what is your what do you whip it up in there? What do you like to cook?
Oh, but always something new, I guess. Sometimes it's, you know.
a recipe follower or no?
No, I pretty much make my own way. I mean, I'll see ideas on, like, making a beef Wellington, obviously you need a recipe for, but that's kind of the scaling of food that I try to make. It's all like home cooked, organic stuff, you know.
What's your favorite, like, what's your go-to?
Well, my daughter's favorite go-to is chicken pot pie.
Oh, I love chicken.
Yeah.
My mom's chicken pie.
My wife's favorite go-to is corn chowder.
Oh.
But those are all kind of like the easy recipes that make a lot of stuff. I like literally pouring 4 hours into a dinner that's
Yeah.
like not gonna make any.
So he gets out of work and goes home and does this for himself and his family, and it's like art. And then, you know, he brings in his leftovers, and I'm like,
More power
what
to you,
the?
brother.
Yeah, thanks,
I'm on
man.
that Chipotle. I'm on Chick-fil-A like, for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
that? You know, I don't want to start asking you questions because we can go down that hole. But no, but is that your plan? It's gonna take about. Is that
2
what-
years, yeah. I mean, I've been at it for 4 months now, and this is the 8th state, so it's like 2 weeks per state. So you take the math. I mean, and you say 52 weeks in a year. You times that, or you divide that by 2. That's 25.
Sure.
So it's like 25 in a year. If I can get around halfway done in a year, I mean, I'm close to being around that pace. You know what I
So you
mean?
come to states like Maine and it slows you down.
Yeah. So, but, I mean, it'll be easier in places like the greatest city in the world, New York City,
Yeah.
Boston, Philly.
Yeah.
You know, some of those places are definitely going to be easier.
But you're still doing pretty good here.
I'm still doing pretty good. I mean, it's not like I'm like haven't sold any, you know what I mean? But it's definitely like you got to adjust. I mean, you just like and I've like evolved my like things that I'm doing to like trying to up the sales too. So it's like now I'm like I will spray paint people's shirts like live on the street, one of one custom collectible, because I've been spray painting for like 3.5 years. And it's funny, like I was telling my friend this recently, I was like, I didn't realize it, like obviously in the time or in the moment at all, but like the past like 3.5 years, the work I've been doing and the skills that I've been refining and gaining is what I'm having to like use to be able to execute this idea that I'm like living out right now. You know what I mean? And I didn't plan on using all of the skills. I knew that I would I knew the skills would be with me for life, but it's like, it's just interesting to see how like I'm able to like just kind of pull things out of the hat and be like, well, let me try and do this in there too, to try and like up the like whatever I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? It's just you never think about it in the moment, but like things you're doing now like could give you the ability to succeed in 3, 4, 5 years down the road, and you have no idea. But if you keep your head down and focus on the moment and executing whatever you have on your plate like in the moment, like then as like the future will it's set itself. You know what I mean?
How old are you again, Zach?
I just turned 25 in June.
June.
Yes.
Well, happy birthday, dude. You're
Thank you,
young
thank you.
and you're very, you seem very well established already for
I
yourself,
appreciate that. I
so,
appreciate
you're
that. Thank
You're
you.
doing something right. I'm envious. I wish I was 25 going to see all the states with some cool idea, but I didn't have it.
You're still a part of it, though. Think about
Yeah,
that.
no. I can't complain. I can't complain.
You're still a part of the playing a part in my success and pulling the whole thing off.
Good.
Well,
We're
what I mean.
happy we could hook up with you.
I was excited, dude. I mean, he's the one who answered the phone and was like, "This sounds really cool." Like when I'm calling shops, you know what I mean? I have to sell the shops a lot of the time. Sometimes, like I call 10 shops probably in Maine, and pretty much every single one of them.
That's because we're the coolest shop.
Exactly. Yeah, you guys were the first shop I called. Everyone was like 2 to 4 weeks, dude. Sorry, and I'm just like, well, I can't print with you then, I guess. You know what I mean? And that's happened in a couple other states too.
Because you came by, you didn't just call, right?
No, I called. I called.
Okay, so it was just from the phone call.
That's what I have to do.
Right up. He's like, dude, this guy sounds pretty cool. It's a pretty cool story. It's cool what he's doing.
Yeah.
And he sold me in like 2 seconds too. So.
That's good. Yeah. Thank you, dude, because.
And my wife. And
No, because I do have to, like, the interview part, but it's like, that's the thing is that, like, the reason why I think the interview part is important is multiple reasons. It's one, for the shop, it's free promotion. The video will live on the internet forever. You never know like what could come of it, whether that's with screen printing companies partnering with them, whether that's from customers that like you could build a relationship with, whatever. One, it's for the shops I work with. Two, it's for the customers that are curious enough to know about the people who actually printed the shirt, because no other brand is doing that. What other people know? The people that get the shirts printed know who printed them, but they don't think that people care really, honestly, or they get them printed overseas. You know what I mean? Which is what a lot of these brands are doing, which is why I saw like the opportunity to like do that. And then three, there's a disconnect between the general public and screen printers and the t-shirt industry and how they're actually made. And it's like, I think the more we bring it together, the only more like better each, the more like they'll mesh and mix, and the more innovation and creativity that can come out of it. Because it's an industry that has to evolve too, and like there's going to be new, like I think it still should be taught in school and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And the fact that it's like not as much is like, I want to make it more like, I wish I could have learned in high school. Like it's there's so many things, but yeah, that's why I think this interview part is like pretty important, because there's so many like people that it can affect in a different way. So yeah.
Oh, I do have to.
You got to go?
Yeah.
Anything you want to leave the people with real quick?
Yeah, invest in yourself.
There you go. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
See you, Randall.
Yeah, see you, man.
Yeah, no, do your thing. Well, we'll continue to interview my man Cam right here. Brandon had to go make a 4-course meal real quick.
Yeah, he's gonna go get his daughter from Camp Tracy right here, local, beautiful camp on a lake in Oakland, Maine, and then he lives in Jay. He commutes 2 hours a day.
What?
Yeah, he lives in Jay, Maine.
What? So he's doing what I'm doing for Portland
Every day.
Screw that, dude.
Yes.
I could never do that.
Yes. And,
I mean, I'm doing it, but I could never do it for my whole life.
I can't say enough good about Brandon Mitchell. And again, the plan is, and he's excited. As my wife and I are only in our. Well, my wife's younger than me. She just turned 40. She'll be 41 this year. I'm gonna be 45 in September. But the next few years, Brandon, we'll be transitioning out. In our 50s, mid 50s, 60, and he'll be way before that be taking over the company and keeping this going into the future. So I'm happy about that. But as far as me investing in myself,
Yes, to answer that question.
Like, I have 3 kids, 9-year-old son, 12-year-old daughter, 15-year-old daughter, beautiful wife. We have we work together. We like each other enough to be able to do that, and not kill each other.
I was about to say
It's not easy.
No, I bet.
I worked with family before, and that was not.
No, I do have some questions, and we'll get into that.
But investing in myself, it's interesting, is investing in this business because
Yes.
as a business owner, right?
It's a part of you.
Yeah. So a brand new automated screen printing press and all the electrical work and infrastructure to this building. So my father actually built this building.
Wow.
In the early 90s.
That's crazy.
He passed on my dad was a naval aviator, and he always had a seaplane because he's from northern Maine. He always liked to be able to fly in and fly fish and things like that and hunt different areas.
Can you fly?
I've soloed. I flew a lot with my father. A lot of hours behind the controls, but and I did solo twice, but I haven't got my license or anything.
How do you feel up there? Because I've done it once.
I loved it.
You like it?
Unfortunately, my dad did crash his plane. So that happened, and then unfortunately, within a few years, my mom did get sick. So that's how that happened. And but so just focusing on my wife and my 3 kids, and kind of, taking care of the building. I was able to purchase the building from my family. So
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah, so I take care of this and just put my money back into the infrastructure of the building, the business. So that's kind of investing in myself. And my
100%.
family's, in our livelihood. So.
It compound. I always tell people like, they say, a savings account or whatever, like talking about compound interest, like, the more money you put in, the more it'll continue to like earn interest, the more you have in there. So it's like, I always tell people like the same thing's true for self-investment. You know what I mean? The more you continually like put into like back into you or whatever you're doing, like, you'll end up seeing like some sort of growth. I mean, the way you explained like the scaling, you were basically just like, we just kept growing. I mean, it's just like we were detailed, organized, we were on our stuff basically, and like you were taking, you know what I mean? Like, it's just there's steps to it, and as long as you kind of keep, and stay, on a straight arrow edge basically, and aren't like a dick basically to people, that like you'll continue to, if you want to, because some shops don't want to. Like, that's the thing with scaling, is like you may get like what I've talked, peace brother, what I've talked to like what I've talked to like a lot about with shop owners is like, when it comes to the auto, it's like you act like before you buy that machine, and you talked about it with the Pinnacle like order, but like most people, when they're buying that machine, they're having to do the math on like, how many shirts do I need to print on this machine for me to not lose money? You know what I mean? Because that's like a huge step in every screen print shop's story, is when did you get your first auto? You know what I mean? Because some shops never get an auto. It's like it's Black Dog. Yeah, Black Dog Graphics. They never had an auto. You know what I mean? And they were never in the business to get an auto. It was never probably a part of their plan, or never like probably ever wanted to, because it's like adding that into like what you're doing. It's like, then it's like it adds all these other problems that like you're not used to having to, like, if you just stick to your bread and butter, you know what I mean? You don't have to.
It's upfront expense, it's infrastructure, it's labor, you need all of that. And, finding a good crew. Like, we've had the same 5 people now working together for, Brandon's been 10 years, to celebrate his 10th in May anniversary here. And our other guys have been with us for 6, 7, 8 years.
Yeah, that's insane.
So there's 5 of us, and we've tried to hire on new, and unfortunately that hasn't worked out for us in the last couple of years. You just invest, and they just don't work out. They don't do what they say they can do, or they don't show up, or they just start not working hard, and it just brings down the whole morale. So you're better off to have a good crew,
Core
people that you can kind of count on, and everybody's happy. So that's basically how I invest in myself, because I'm just investing in my family's livelihood, our future.
Yes.
I'm gonna have kids going to college soon, and so.
How do you feel about that?
Not good. No, I'm kidding. My oldest daughter is 15. She's gonna be a sophomore this year. She's killing. My kids are all.
You think they're gonna want to leave the nest, like go far away, or they're gonna want to stay in like New England? You think?
Yeah, my daughter's a really, really good soccer player.
Nice.
Both daughters are. They're just great kids, smart, good athletes, good kids. But I think my daughter will. I think both my daughters will probably want to play some sort of sports in high school, college. I don't know exactly what my son might do.
Call up
baseball and golf and everything a kid should like right now. So, that's and outside of that, I like to hunt, fish, golf once in a while. I don't really get to do that much anymore because we're really busy.
Grateful Dead.
I like listening to the Dead. I never got to go to a show, unfortunately, or even a Dead and Company show. I have a lot of friends that go to like a lot.
My friend I'm staying with went to the Boston one recently.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Nope. I know people that go to all those shows, but I like Pearl Jam, I like Guster, like Big Ed Todd, a lot of different music. You know Guster?
I don't.
It's a New England band. They're from Boston. They're really good.
I don't.
Yeah.
I've never been north of New York City before I came here.
Come on.
Yeah, like
wow.
Maine is the first state on the tour that I've never been to.
Wow.
Yeah, I've never been past New York City.
Are you liking Maine?
I love Maine. Yeah,
Good.
I love Maine. Yeah,
Good.
People are nice. You know what I mean? I mean, it's actually a very similar, just landscape and feel and vibe to like where I'm from in Tennessee. You know what I mean? It's mountains, it's trees.
Yeah.
That's Tennessee. That's where I'm. You know, Chattanooga. It's scenic city is what it's called. You know what I mean? Because you're in the valley. You're surrounded by mountains and trees.
Knoxville, right?
Chattanooga.
You're in China, but is Knoxville's Tennessee?
Tennessee, yeah. That's northeast Tennessee, so it's also 2 hours away.
Knoxville, Nashville, Chattanooga?
Yeah, so if you're looking at the state like this,
Yeah.
Knoxville towards the top right,
Yeah.
Chattanooga bottom right,
Okay.
Nashville middle, then Memphis is way over there, and then Atlanta 2 hours southeast of Chattanooga. So
I am going to be touring Tennessee in September for my 45th birthday.
let's go. Where?
Yeah.
That's my dad's birthday is in September too.
Yeah?
Yeah, 24th.
I'm having my dad's old 04 Road King shipped down to Knoxville.
What is that? Oh,
It's a Harley. It's a Harley.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say a plane.
No, Harley.
Okay.
So I'm going to fly down, hopefully get my bike in Knoxville.
In Knoxville.
And then I want to see Nashville and Memphis. But I want to do the Dragon's Tail of the Dragon.
I don't
It's
know.
a really sought
Some trail?
after trip for
Okay, for-
motorcyclists. Like all
You got to go to Chattanooga.
elevations,
then, though, now.
crazy road, like switchback roads all up and down these mountains. It's like 212 miles, I think,
Are you doing it with like a group of
by
people?
myself.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm gonna head up to Fort Worth and see Pearl Jam two times in Fort Worth, and then I'm gonna drive down to Austin and see him 2 times in Austin, one of which is my birthday night, September 18th.
Dang, you got a nice
Next
little
night,
trip
and
planned.
Flying back from Austin on the 20th, so I'll be gone 2 weeks.
Wow,
My
you
wife
gotta-
is super cool. Super cool. Yeah.
You got a cooler tour than I got going, dude.
yeah, so-
well, dude, come
It's a
come
bucket
to
list.
come
Now
to
you're 45, man. You gotta
Yeah.
do this. Look at you. You're 25. You're seeing the whole country. You're way ahead of me.
I'm only 8 states in, dude. I'm not even freaking 20% there.
So
That
I'm
is
excited for that. That's like
that is funny. You got
big trip.
you got to come to Chattanooga then, though.
So how far down is it? Because I got.
It's 2 hours.
I'm
It's-
only giving myself 5 days to get from Knoxville to Fort Worth.
It's 2 hours. So like, what you can just do one day there. Then you can stay with my parents. They'll let you stay with them.
Well, I don't know how.
They would love to have you for a night, dude.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. So like, if you start in Knoxville, you go down to you, and it's still east. So you're heading towards technically closer towards Memphis
Right.
and Texas. If you go to Chattanooga from Knoxville.
The whole point of going into Knoxville is to do that.
Oh,
Section
okay.
But
Okay.
You know, I've heard people.
That makes
have
sense.
gone.
That makes sense.
I think it's.
I'm pushing
Tail
you
of the
to.
Dragon or Dragon's Tail.
I'm pushing you to go there because
Tennessee.
it's
You've never heard of the.
No,
You're
I don't
from
ride
Tennessee?
motorcycles.
Right, but it's a very scenic location. It's like through the mountains. It's all roads.
I know they have the
hairpin
like
turns.
the Trail of Tears.
I think there's several different types of roads that's all like, you know,
Into
they're
one thing.
destinations for people that ride.
Well, I'm excited for you
Thank
either
you.
way.
Thank you.
To
So
go to
I've
Tennessee.
never been to Tennessee.
Well, that's
It's kinda
exciting.
weird that I'm flying there in September.
I hope you enjoy it.
My life.
Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
sounds like a fucking hell of a time. I wish I was like, I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't even know where the hell I'll be in September, to be honest. Well, no, I'll still be in the Northeast, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely still be up in somewhere.
So you're going from Maine to
Vermont.
Vermont. You've already
And-
done New Hampshire?
No, I'm gonna because Burlington's north.
So you're gonna come back.
Yeah, because it's like it doesn't make sense to go down and then
That
back
makes
up.
sense. And a lot of bands do that too, so that makes total sense.
Yeah, and it's gonna be. We talked about it, you know.
Do you, and you
50
have friends in
No,
Vermont?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? Well, you will, but
I hope.
not right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll see. It might be in the car.
And your friend in Winterport is a friend from South? Or
He's actually. So I'm actually was born in Maryland,
Okay.
and so like outside of DC, but basically grew up in Tennessee my whole life.
Yeah.
But still have a lot of family in Maryland. But yeah, I knew him from Maryland, like family friend type. Like we're neighbors actually when we grew up together.
Nice.
Yeah, so it kind of just worked out. And when I was actually in Maryland, he was back in town, and he was like, "Yeah," and he's a travel nurse, so that's why he's only staying until August, like 20th or something. And so I was like, "Well, if he's only staying there until August, I don't know anyone else in Maine."
Nice.
I was thinking about after Maryland, just doing Delaware right next,
Yeah.
east right there, but I was like, screw it, I'm gonna go all the way up to Maine and drove 12 hours up here. So
Are you gonna make time to get home for a little bit?
the plan is the plan right now is northeast while it's warm.
Yeah,
Knock out,
holidays,
knock out these states because like Vermont in the winter, like I mean New Hampshire, it's like none of those states I will be able to do in the winter. New York City, Boston, Philly, like those cities I can definitely do when it's colder. It's still like the huge city, like it's a numbers game for me. So it's like more people, more quick like sales are gonna come quicker. So knock out Northeast while it's still warm. Once it gets like pretty freaking cold, go back down south. Take a break at home, and then go west.
Nice.
Stay in the south, go west. So yeah, I mean it's really just weather based. I mean, what's funny too is that I really don't like people ask like like ever asked what the route is, and I have like no idea. Like my initial thought was Delaware after Maryland, and then I'm like, well, maybe I should do Maine. And it's like kind of just changes. Initially on though, it was just straight up because I did a J. I did Tennessee all the way down to Miami, then straight up Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland. I did just a huge J like that, and so now I'm knock out this Northeast, boom, go west, and then just keep on hauling. So
Do you have friends in New York City?
yes,
Good.
and I mean. Yeah, that place is. I mean, I've visited like I don't know, probably a dozen times now at this point. So I'm very comfortable and familiar there. So and then for Jersey, I mean, it's so close. Like Jersey City and like Hoboken is like literally one bridge over.
Yep.
And it's like I'm gonna be selling pretty like hopefully like quick and pretty well over there. So I'm excited to be because it's like obviously right now I'm in a pretty rural area. So yeah, it's nice to like be in one type of like environment, and then like 3 weeks later I'm in a completely different one. Yeah. But it does kind of suck because you kind of grow attached to like some of these places.
Yeah.
So tell me. So you said golf. You said hunting and fishing a little bit too, right?
Fishing.
And then we're doing motorcycle. So obviously that's
like
like
motorcycle.
that's a thing.
Yeah.
Snowmobile. Yeah, that's also my friend was telling me up here. Actually, he's like they have roads for snowmobiles during the winter so that you can go to like the store or like that's crazy. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it's huge.
We don't got snow in Tennessee.
Yeah, New England actually there's trail systems that connect to all New England. If you get a good snow year, you can go anywhere.
Forever.
Yeah, you can go down to New Hampshire, Mass. You can go up to Vermont. You go into Canada.
Or you just get a plane.
Or you just get a plane. My dad used to keep his plane on skis.
That's
So
crazy.
we could land on the ice and ice fish.
What?
Do that too. Yeah.
And you did that with him?
Oh yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's hell of a.
He used to have canoes stashed all over the state in these little ponds he loved. So we'd fly in and we'd just pull the plane up on shore on the pontoons, and he'd go in the woods, find the plane. It could be like 5-10 years, and he just remembered about where they were, and he'd go in and pull out a canoe, and we'd fly fish for the day. It's pretty good. Pretty crazy upbringing.
Me over here, like, that can't drive without fucking Google Maps anywhere. Like, even my own fucking city I am from.
Yeah, but no, it was fun. It was a good childhood, and I'm glad. I can't believe I'm getting to do it with my family now too. And this company is allowed for me to stay in the area, and I'm really.
Well, it's cool too, like you being able to like, because I would assume at this point you really probably feel like Brandon is like family. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's family.
Well, he lost his dad a few years too.
Okay.
Young also, so kind of have that bond. He's just a great kid.
It's almost got to feel like the company is being passed down into the family. And
yes.
For sure.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like second generation basically
like
is.
1,000%. He's earned it. He deserves it. Well,
do you think any of your kids would ever be, any of them?
And, and I'm sure he would welcome the help.
Yeah.
I mean, because
what did they say?
Find it. I think they want to try to find their own way, is what I understand from it.
Have they like done like they've printed before and
Oh no, they come in and work.
Yeah, okay.
All three of them have worked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know if that's state labor laws, okay, but
it was volunteer to.
They don't work hard.
It was punishment.
They don't work for that long, but they do come in and help out.
It's because they didn't clean their room.
Yeah, no, but no, Brandon. When my father had that plane crash, it was September 2nd. It was Tuesday after Labor Day weekend for 2014, and I just gotten my ex partner. It just felt like my business finally. Brandon was really becoming very
Thriving.
yeah, he was just thriving and becoming very confident. We had a couple good employees, not the ones we have now, but some other ones that were decent enough, and it just felt like really we were gonna just take the world,
By storm.
take it all on. And I got that call that morning, that Tuesday, and and I had to just obviously not be around the business much for a while. And Brandon just stepped right in and just helped out whatever he had to do. And always be grateful for that. And then also again when my mom was sick, by the time my mom got sick, it was pancreatic liver cancer a few years after my dad passed. My wife was working because then I had brought my wife in after my dad passed, and that she'd been working for the state forever, and so she had been for a little while. But then at that point, I really had to focus on my mother, and it was another proving ground point where they both just took the reins, and I basically at this point I'll go and do some marketing, I'll do some deliveries, I come in and print when I need to, I print a lot at night and stuff just to keep the ball rolling. But I'm
Just to get people kinda.
Yeah, at this point, I just kind of do whatever I need to do to help the ball keep going, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Many different hats.
Whatever the task is
Yeah.
at hand that
Yeah.
needs the most attention.
Yeah, and my wife and I, it's just a good point where we can, with 3 kids, we can each pop out and in and kind of help each other out.
Throw one of the kids in there, know.
Yeah, I told my 15-year-old this is her freshman summer. And she's playing a lot of sports, and she's really into soccer and stuff. I said, yeah, well, next summer you're going to probably work in some more work and sports.
Yeah, well, it'll get you stronger, make you better at sports too.
She's not none
for
of my.
for the overhead. For the overhead.
Sorry, Riley, I'm not picking on you, but enjoy this summer.
What you could do too, and because I've already got the hashtag going up to. Because one of the videos today, for some reason, did like 11,000 views. I posted on TikTok. That's not crazy views. I mean, I've done videos over 1 million views before. Yeah, wow. I've done a video that had 1 million views that had 250,000 comments on it.
Holy cow!
Yeah, like I could talk to you about social media for hours, right? Yeah. But
what was that video? What was the topic?
Oh, it was. I mean,
I've watched a bunch of your stuff now.
Yeah. Well, it was because I took advantage of this one feature on TikTok, which was at the time, TikTok was the only platform that they created it basically, which is, like if someone comments on like a post, like obviously you can comment and reply back to it with text.
Yeah.
They created this feature where you could reply to a comment, but it makes it like into like a little sticker bubble basically that says the words in there, and you can reply to it with a video, and then that little sticker bubble is on that video that you're replying with. So like their question, it could say like, who is NLC INK? And then you could put that little bubble sticker on the video and be like, here's, Brandon just asked this question, who is NLC INK? Let me answer that question, Brandon. And so, like, it's more interactive, like, to engage with, like, anyone.
Yeah.
Regardless of if you're famous or not. Like, it's a way, like, just stronger connection that you would have, like, with anyone.
So explain that feature.
No, like I saw I saw the value in using that feature because you just are building like way stronger relationships with everyone on the platform.
Yeah.
So what I would start doing is, and I was not very comfortable speaking on camera, and so like I needed to like get over that, and so like this is honestly around the time of like COVID, it just like kind of started, and I'm like, this is a super undervalued feature. Like, people aren't taking advantage of it the way it should be taken advantage of right now. So every single comment I got, I started replying with a video. And actually there's, I think, like science behind making videos where you're just holding your phone and talking to yourself like this, and people can tell that it's just you holding the phone. Yeah. Because there's a stronger connection like when you're doing that and then someone's viewing the video on the other end and they're holding their phone in their hand.
Yeah.
Whereas if I film you,
right,
there's a disconnect. No one knows who's behind the camera.
Right.
And so like they don't have as strong of a connection because they don't know what's going on behind here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I saw like there was the two things. It was like stronger connection with the internet, basically with the people on the internet. And I started replying to every single comment I got with a video, and I would say that in the video. And basically all I was doing was like, if you left me a comment, I would basically just thank you for leaving a comment. Right. So it's like if someone said, "Oh, this is cool art," I would say, "Thank you for the comment, Brandon. Appreciate the support. Thank you. Have a great day." That's it. Also, if you don't know, I reply to every single comment I get with a video. And so like people would see that, and then it's like, well, I want my comment replied to with a video. So what does that make you want to do?
Right.
Leave a comment.
Yeah.
And guess what? Not only one comment,
Smart.
more than one, because what does that do? It gives you a higher chance of getting your comment replied to.
Smart.
So, I mean, I could sit here and talk to you all. I told you I could sit here and talk to you all day about social media. But what I was going to say was all that just to say is that your children, potentially, if they don't want to be a part of the business in a way of printing or getting the goods out, I'm sure, I know for a fact that they probably have TikTok.
I don't allow them to have TikTok.
Oh, they don't? Okay. I'm sure they want to have TikTok.
Even my 15-year-old, still no TikTok.
Okay, well, they have, I'm sure, some form of
do.
social media.
I allow my 15-year-old on Insta.
Okay. So, like, potentially there's an opportunity there where you could say, well, like, make some videos for the shop page or something like that. That's how you can help out the business or something. You know what I mean? You never know. Like, it's just in general, like marketing and advertising now has like changed. I mean, everything is digital, everything is social media. You know what I mean? It's like,
I know, and I should have more of a presence.
But you don't have to.
I know, but I bought the GoPro. I have the drone. Like I have all.
Like
these
you can
ideas.
exist and still be growing as a business without ever having to like do social media. But I think for the customers, it is cool sometimes to see the behind and have a stronger connection as to like kind of what's just going on the day-to-day basis, and like it will most likely. I mean, the only thing it could do is get you more business. You know what I mean? But that's not, again, not necessarily anything that, someone could, like, some businesses are like, we don't need any more business, you know what I mean? Or we do need more business, but we're kind of picky as to, like, who we want to work with, which is totally fine. It's like, you don't want to have to deal with a headache order of, like, certain stuff.
We've had growing pains where, we've had to bump up our minimum orders and things like that because it just takes... And sometimes, like, the smallest customers, and God bless them, like, it's not a small order to them.
Yeah.
It's a big order to them, but but they take up the most time, and they're the most picky.
Yeah.
And it's like, we just had to kind of try to
get
to the next level.
For mine, which is why I made my designs partially, too, like, so simple. Because, like, I don't want to have to, like, I need it quick, and I need it fast and cheap, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and not cheap and is, like, bad, like, quality, but just, like, it's a one-color front and back, you know what I mean? It's like...
There's a lot of educating involved with people if they've never ordered stuff before or gone through the process.
Which is why hopefully, these videos...
Why is so much more in 2 locations, or why is so much more of it's multiple colors in each location? It's like... It seems like common sense, but it's not.
It's not. No, it's not. I had no idea about any of it, which is why, like I said earlier, like hopefully, like by like putting a lot of these videos out there, that like people like are either curious enough to like learn more about it, or at least are aware of like okay, like there are like it's a science like behind all this stuff.
There is. It's a and it's.
I do have a couple specific screen print questions too.
Sure.
On the manual, push or pull?
Pull is better.
Pull.
Yep.
Is what
better.
you're...
Yep, it's better. So I did sleeves for the 60,000 shirts.
Yeah.
For Pinnacle Vodka.
Keep talking. I'm just going to make sure it's still rolling.
I think you definitely want to always, it's just better for your body over the long haul.
To pull. Yeah.
Yep.
Some people, it's just, it's something that I've noticed everywhere I go is that, like, you never know who's, like, which way people are going to do it.
But I'm sure there's a lot of people that say that the pushing is better for your body over a long time. So
who knows? It's just interesting. I'm always curious. That's why, and I didn't see you print, so that's why I had to ask.
I actually I run the automatic.
Yeah, I'm sure you're never on the manual,
right?
Anymore.
No, at times I'd print manually, but then thank God we had enough business where we were getting bigger jobs, and they all just needed to be. It made more sense to do them on the auto. So it became really efficient on the auto.
And your elbows were just telling you to stop.
Yeah.
And your shoulders.
Yeah, and basically, again, I'm printing when, I print a lot of nights and stuff too, like late afternoons when Brandon's got to get, I'll hop on and go till the job's done. So that one's behind us, so we can start on something new the next.
Yeah,
day.
you're just hopping and
So
finishing
I'm
out
kinda,
order.
on call a lot of times. When
Okay.
We're really in the busy season, which is like April till like December,
Nice.
November, December. And then in regards to your questions, it's hard to. I would love to market in a way that we could be a little steadier in the 3 or 4 months that are
Off.
months.
Well, so here's the thing.
But we catch our breath in those months too.
That's
and
true.
We're still steady enough to keep the lights on.
That's true.
But we're
Here's-
not like balls to the wall
Here's
like we
here's
are
what
now.
I would say to that. Document as much as possible during the busy so that you have an archive of stuff that you can just release during those 3
Yeah.
months that aren't as busy.
Yeah.
That if you do want a little bit more here and there, that it's like you don't have to go make content. You already have it made and you just hit post basically. And if you have your daughter doing it for you, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah. True.
less of a headache.
And then it's like
And they know how to do all the stuff. I mean, that's why I was saying it's like the kids, they know how to do all these trends and all the, you know what I mean? So it's then it's like they're in the know of like all, and probably more in the know than I am for sure too. Like I'm behind, you know what I mean? I try and keep up and I'm on it every day.
yeah.
Another screen printing question.
Sure.
For the business in general, I ask this to every like owner too. If you had to pick, one's got to go, one stays.
Screen printing or embroidery?
No.
Oh.
Manual or auto?
Oh, definitely the manual.
It's gone.
Gone. God. Because we've gotten so efficient now with the two. It was like a world of difference when we went from one automated press
To
and
two.
manuals
Wow.
to 2 autos and 1 manual. Now we're so efficient that we will throw on a lot smaller jobs on an auto than we ever would have before. In the back of the day, if it was 100 shirts or less, we're manually printing those all day long. But now, because we have 2 and we can be so efficient, other than the automated screens are a little bit bigger and more expensive because we do all just aluminum screens. We send them back to the company to have them the new mesh put on retention.
And who is that? Who does that?
Victory
Okay.
Screens out of New York. I think they're out of Jamaica Plains, New York. Good company, and they've actually had some growing pains themselves, but they're doing a really good job the last several times we've sent back boxes of screens. They get them right back to us like 2 weeks.
Nice.
Before it could be a month or 2.
Nice.
So we have great screen inventory, but after 6 or 7 uses, especially longer runs, the tension starts to get good, and you notice the print quality diminishes pretty fast.
Yeah.
So you got to pull out all the screens, send them back blank, get all the ink off them, send them back just the aluminum frames, and they re-adhesive brand new tension.
Tension. No.
Whatever mesh count you
Have you seen those the eco screens? Have you seen those?
the green ones,
The yellow ones.
yellow ones?
You pop in it's basically the empty frame.
Yeah.
And then basically like a loose mesh with like plastic like liner on the edges, and then you like put it into the frame, and then there's like a little crimping tool essentially that you use to like
Yeah.
put it into where it's it has the tension so that you can like make your own screen. I mean it's
That's like those pneumatic.
yeah,
roller
that's what I was about to say. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can tighten it. Yeah, I was gonna bring it up during the but I had never
But
seen.
I think this sounds a little bit different. Like
It is.
a little newer technology.
It is,
Yeah.
it is, yeah. And then I think it's eco screen for a reason, because it's like better for the environment or
Yeah,
something.
right. Less glue, less.
Something, I don't know. You can reuse it more, I guess.
Okay.
Because like you can take off. Like once you crimp it in there and use the screen, I think you can take it off, and then I guess clean it easier too, because
Yeah.
it's just like mesh.
And
Like
if you can keep, and there's a little gauge, so as long as you can keep crimping them and getting the tension back.
Yeah,
and
same.
The mesh would last a lot longer.
yeah,
It's just the pressure of printing on it pulls it away from the adhesive, and then the tension gets so you can't really use it anymore.
exactly. Yeah, and I think
I'll look into that.
Yeah, no, they're cool.
We're all about trying to help in any way we can. The Plasol ink, that's kind of like, it's hard getting around that.
Yeah.
Water-based ink.
Well, I prefer plastisol because
Yeah.
it lasts
Yeah.
longer.
I mean, it lasts.
And I want to like you to be able to like people will do the water base so that it's smooth and it doesn't feel like it's on the shirt. But I want you to know that it's like there's something on there and it ain't coming off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I always thought it was 10 to 15 seconds at 340 for the ink to cure fully so that it stays on there and doesn't wash off. But it sounds like we've been doing 20 seconds. So maybe that's the newer oven and you just slow it down. But Brandon's always on top of all the the procedures and stuff. He does so good with all that. But, my business partner and I, when we first started, we actually drove down to New York, and Ryanette, that company, that I said with our one brother.
I know who they are, yeah.
Yeah. So they had like workshops where they like teach screen printing, but like hands-on, like.
They're a big company.
Yeah.
They do all the sheets too
No, Ryanette's.
Yeah.
Ryanette's huge. I don't think they do any of the automated equipment and ovens and stuff like Workhorse does, but anyway, yeah, we went down there and kind of learned. It was like a 3 or 4 day class that we did that, and but things keep evolving and changing. I mean, the equipment now.
Yeah.
Like this new automated press, so the other one's all pressure, it lifts up and down. It's all pneumatic, and then this one is more electric and.
The one shop that I use, shout out to Action T-shirts, Eric and Doug over there in Richmond, Virginia. They had an Anatol fully electric.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was so quiet in there.
Fast and quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, barely any sound.
They didn't have any compressors?
No.
No. There's no compressor. Wow.
Nope. Yeah. But it's only one, I think, company still that only makes that fully kind of like electric like that.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff. Yeah, that's what I tell people in general too. Screen printing is just like, like you think like, all right, well, like all you need is T-shirt and ink and, whatever. Like, but it's like there's so many machines, especially as you keep scaling that, and then it's not only the machine itself, but the upkeep of the machine. It's like, it's not like the machine is just like go all the time. It's like there's problems. So like, has there been any like kind of like, especially earlier on, I know you were saying that like, it's basically just one guy who pretty much kind of knew what he was doing with screen printing. But like, what happened when you got like your first, like you talked about that Pinnacle story, but like, I'm sure there was like, for me too, like with my art, like there was orders sometimes, like especially with the Barstool, like they ordered like these really big art pieces, like custom, that I had never done a custom that big of a size. And they asked if I could, and it was like, of course I can. Like, why would I ever say no to that opportunity? I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that I know how to do it and then be fucking anxious as fuck as to how I'm actually going to do it. So, like, was there any, like, stories or points like that within the business where you're like, I know I can probably do it, but it's going to have to be like a game time thing. Like, I have to say yes almost type of deal.
A lot in this, you learn, you learn on the fly on a lot of things, and the guy was very knowledgeable. Like I said, the guy that we brought in, there was a mutual friend, rest in peace, AJ. He was a very talented graphic designer, and he was a very good screen printer.
Nice.
But he, again, and he had some health issues at that time, and unfortunately, eventually passed from them. So I didn't blame it all on him, and I did like him as a friend. We were friends before we worked together. Mm-hmm. Just he was hard to work with, and he kept a lot of things close to chest. But he still divulged things, information about, coding the screens and stenciling the screens and registering the screens and printing and all those things. Basically, he just came down to he didn't want to divulge anything about the software side, the Photoshop, and he didn't want to teach us any of that because he knew as soon as we did, and I knew enough about that.
You didn't need him.
Yeah. So, but in the end, I was so busy running the business, ordering, invoicing, in production, printing at nights. I didn't want to learn anything else. I was starting a new company.
Yeah.
We all had our roles.
And you knew what you didn't want to do, and then two, knew what wasn't your expertise, and you got someone else that was able to do it, and like that was their kind of expertise. And I was thinking like, okay, we invested too much money at this point, been through too much. I'm not like, we're just getting the ball kind of going. Like if something happened, if you left. Because pretty much every day I was like, am I going to fire this guy today or am I going to get through today? Yeah.
And, and our business partner, and it was creating a rift on everybody. Like, it just wasn't a healthy thing. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to teach myself and then like find new people and keep going with this, and it's gonna suck, but I'm not going back. I'm not
Yeah.
failing. And then it just worked out that finally my business partner was just like, this isn't working. I'm like, no, it's not. You're right. So he went back to what he was doing. She's good at that. He's doing well. And I'm happy for him. And then like I told you, my original graphic designer printer guy, he got sick, and a few years ago he passed. But really, when Brandon came in and I was able to finally, because I've been talking to his boss, well, his teacher in high school,
His guru,
his professor, for like months, and I just didn't think it was ever. And then finally, I pick up the phone, I'm like, NLC INK, and it's like, yeah, this is Brandon Mitchell. I'm like, you're real?
You're him.
I'm like, come in. And he was like 18, 19.
I did see like because like when I was making the buttons and stuff, I went back through y'all's like Facebook and I saw like one of the earlier pictures of
10
you
years.
guys at like some sort of
We're at an event. My
some,
buddy
yeah.
Brandon Barry, Cannon. He's a boxer from West Forks, Maine, which is where my dad is from.
Okay.
Shout out Brandon, great guy, great fighter. Yeah, we were printing shirts for him, and we were actually running the stand at his fight.
Nice.
selling stuff for him at that time. Yeah.
No, that's definitely cool. We did speak on it briefly, but tell me, like, I mean, obviously, the business had to scale and evolve from the business side, and then like the personal side, you have to evolve to how the business adapts to. But then, speaking of relationships with people in the business, how has how has it been like being in business with your wife? I mean, that's like something that's not a lot of people can say that they've done successfully.
Right.
And then, what has changed from the start? Like, what did you like? Has there been like rules that are like fully implemented now that like no business like at home? Like, because there's business owners that I know that are like, yo, like my phone turns off after 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
If you text me after 8, it's just you're not getting a text back till the morning. Like that's just my rule. So like, what has happened in that?
It's like a 1 or 2 question thing. I'm like, I just have one quick question, and she'd be like, okay, and then maybe like 2 questions, and then after that, I know I've reached my limit.
Okay.
At home, you're right, because we have so much time to talk about.
So it's not no limit.
It hasn't been no limit. It hasn't been no limit for about 11 years. It's been NLC, right, customer?
No, there's definitely a limit on bringing business into the personal life.
Right.
So like
there is a limit. There is a limit. We need to we limit that at home because it's all day, every day here. And even here though, we'll talk about stuff, but most of the time I'm printing. She was always just an amazing professional administrative person. She worked for the state of Maine for years and years and years.
Nice.
She was the right-hand person to the commissioner for the Department of Marine Resources.
Wow. And
she was killing that job, and they loved her there, but I needed her. And they were very sad to lose her, and I'm like, well, I really need her. She's like, listen, you're not going to be up my shit every day. I'm like, no, like, just do what you do. She does all the ordering and invoicing, and and she'll come, but she does it. She checks in the blank goods, make sure that
No, she was packing stuff when I was here.
I mean, she does everything. Don't get me wrong, but normally I'm printing and she's doing this because I did that for 5 years and I hated it.
Yeah.
I did it and I did it fine, but she's like really good at it.
Yeah.
So it just worked. We don't talk about shit at home.
That's good. Yeah. No, I mean it's definitely
It's not like I want to either.
I know. Yeah. Well,
I don't want to talk about.
But it's something that you had. I mean, I'm sure there were times where it's like you have to. It's like sometimes business like carries into home for anyone. I mean, anyone who works at any job, like sometimes, and me especially, and you, like entrepreneurs, small business owners, like it's hard to shut it off. You know what I mean? Like, how do you like do that? Like, because it's like when I like it's so hard like to just like. You feel guilty. You feel guilty if you don't like put in extra. You know what I mean? So like, how do you deal with that?
Oh no, back in the day. So with both companies that I started, my wife took the brunt of that because it was not really a healthy, good thing. We were on call a lot. I was on call half of the year for almost 5 years, and just starting out married, starting having kids, and that was not easy. And I vented a lot about that business to her. To the point where finally I couldn't take it, and I left. I sold my ownership back in that company to to my sister and her husband, and I left. And then eventually started this. And then the first 3-4 years of this, like I said, it wasn't easy at all. Starting a business is never easy, but especially when you're not really seeing eye to eye with your partner, and then your main employee, like it was just a, if I knew now what I knew then, I wouldn't be sitting here. I wouldn't be doing this. Yeah. But we made it through, and we're 13 years in now, so it's a whole different thing. We've got to the point where we're take care of our customers. They expect, we provide what they expect, and the
wheels have been turning for a while.
We've so to speak, we've made it.
Yeah.
We have a good.
It's a well-oiled machine instead of early on where you were still building the machine.
Dude, it was only the last probably 5 or 6. Buying out the company helped because we got a huge shot in the arm, although it was a big amount of money up front.
Yeah.
Really, up until that point, maybe a year or two before that, we were still like, you're still uncertain. You have to get real comfortable being uncomfortable starting a business like this.
Yeah. I'm sure. No, I mean, it's I tell a lot of people too.
Any business, but especially this business.
100%. Yeah.
When's the phone gonna ring?
Yeah. I tell a lot of people, to anyone in small business entrepreneurship, and it's a little bit of like a weird way to look at it, and not in a way of like you're trying to take money from people, but like all the money that you're trying to get for your business is in other people's pockets, and it's up to you to figure out how to get it from their pocket to yours. You know what I mean? And so it's like it's more than just knowing how to able to print the shirts. There's so many other things behind it that you're probably not going to want to have to do. You know what I mean? Like I tell people too, anyone who wants to start their own business, the 10% that you love, you better freaking love it, because the other 90% you're going to fucking hate probably. Yeah. And if you don't love that 10% more than you hate that 90, then there's no point in even freaking trying. The interview is getting longer, so I do want to start wrapping it up.
No. Let's do it.
I do have some like quick hitters real quick.
But just on that, just to end that.
Yeah, for sure.
The years I spent in home health care, it's hard, right? And you don't want to fail. So leaving that, I was like, I'm gonna go back to corporate America, a job that I know I can do. I can count on the insurance and the salary and this and that and car and all these things that I had, and that really wasn't panning out. The last thing I want to do was jump back into like starting a new business with a buddy that I was friends with 2 decades before, that I just kind of hooked up with, and I thought he was on the level and all that. Come to find out we weren't really that compatible as business partners and all those things. But then it got to a point 4 or 5 years where I was doing everything. Like I was gone almost every night printing. Like there was no
in between
failure. So anybody that wants to start their own business, that's great, and you can do it and you can make it. But it's going to be a grind for about 4, 5, 6 years, depending on your industry. Yeah. And then you can finally start getting to the other side if you don't fail.
Yeah. No, I mean, you have to be upfront, pretty, honest with yourself about how much sacrifice it's going to actually take.
It's a lot.
And what you're willing to be able to sacrifice.
But you can never take, failure for an option.
Yeah.
And you will get to the other side.
Yeah.
It just takes a bit.
Yeah. No, that's definitely cool to hear. I mean, it's entrepreneurship, small business journeys everyone's got their own story, which is why I want to be able to help tell people's stories, because it's
great what you're doing. It's great.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Well, it's cool because like everyone's story is different, and everyone's road to success is different. Everyone's definition of success is also different. Like some people could define having a shop that never has an auto machine as a success. Some people would view that as a failure. It's different because people have different goals. You know what I mean? But no, to be able to come out through it on the other side, especially starting it in a time where the foundation you were starting it on was not solid.
No.
You know what I mean? No. And to be able to do it in that time, I mean, you got to be confident, you know what I mean, to be able to pull it off. So, definitely props to you for that.
Thank you.
Some quick hitters though, real quick. These are not really screen printing questions, and half the time I'm just coming up with these off my brain. So I'll just list a couple and you can just quick hit them. Favorite movie, or like one or
True
two?
Romance.
True Romance. Okay,
Have
cool.
you ever seen it?
I don't think so. Who's
You
in
gotta
it?
be kidding me.
Yeah.
It's the greatest cast assembled of
I know,
all time.
I know.
Tarantino wrote the screenplay.
Okay, yeah.
He sold the screenplay.
I've heard of
Tony
it.
Scott directed it, but it was Tarantino's.
Big
words.
Lebowski is one of my favorite movies.
Yes,
Okay.
Coen Brothers.
Yes.
That's my favorite comedy
Okay. Okay.
of all time.
Okay.
That's
okay.
probably the movie I've watched the most.
Me too. I've seen it a
Yeah,
million times.
hundreds.
Yeah.
Hundreds of times. But no, True Romance, you got to watch it.
All right, I'll watch it.
Great movie.
Great movie.
Yes.
Favorite album or favorite band? Number one.
Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam. Number one.
I do love Imagine Dragons. I don't know if I mentioned that before. Gus Nordell. I love music, all music.
Yes. That seems to be a thing that always matches up with screen printers. Is They usually all love
I
music.
listen to a lot of music, a
Yeah.
lot of hours.
It's always attached.
Jamming.
Like you got to have music in the shop.
Yeah,
It's
I can't imagine.
it's always a thing.
Can't imagine having done this without music.
Everyone says the same thing. It's crazy. It's literally crazy. My friend from Chattanooga said the same thing. He's like, I would never have been able to do this if I would not been able to listen to music.
Oh
It's-
my gosh. Different favorite albums over the years, but I think I have to just say, 10, even though I think there's better albums by Pearl Jam, but I can't pick another album because they're all so good. When I listen to them, I just love them all, but I have
Cool.
to say 10.
Okay. Favorite color.
Nostalgic wise, you know what I mean? 'Cause
Yes.
I was like 12.
Okay.
When it came out, so 13,
Okay.
so it was like the sweet spot, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Favorite color.
Favorite color, like off green, like military green, like olive green.
Okay. I
Can't
like
say
that.
green. That's the funny thing about colors. You can't just say green. You can't say blue.
Well, no, as a screen printer, you definitely
Yeah.
can't.
It's like, what green guy? What blue? Yeah. Sorry.
No, it would have been funny if you're like pulling out some what is it, like the PMS color? Like
Yeah.
you're like PMS color number 3. Like that's my favorite color.
You know what? I should.
All right, favorite color, favorite movie, favorite album / band. This one is a little bit messed up. You don't have to actually answer. Favorite child? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Got any favorite garments to print on that you've printed on over the years? Any specific brands you enjoy
You know what?
getting ink on?
Gildan. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
But you know why? Because a lot of the Gildans have the center
Seam?
crease.
Yeah.
Makes it really
Nice.
a lot more efficient.
Well, we only print on the 50-50-50 tour on Shockawares.
No, and you know what? This is
the
no.
best.
I've never even seen that.
I
but
know
it's-
this
I
is
can
the
tell
first-
it's nice quality.
It's the first time they were
Yeah.
y'all had ever printed Shockwares, and
No.
that's happened in a couple of different shops on my tour.
I didn't never even heard of it.
Neither did your wife or Brandon.
Are they distributed out of a certain?
L.A. Yeah, it's their own. They're private, like their own
But
company.
are they carried by any of the big distributors?
100%. Yeah, Alpha Broider, all that stuff. Yeah.
Has Shaka?
Yeah, they've been around for years
Well,
too.
it's nice stuff.
Oh, I'm telling you,
Nice
it's
stuff.
it's nice. You saw the
Yeah.
one up there too.
No,
yeah.
I like Brandon Gildan, Haynes. Even Portland Company has a couple of shirts that are good. We still primarily do t-shirts, but like Sport Tech has some nice rivals to like Car for better price points, so the customer's happy, still make the margin. So it's kind of like there's different brands for what people are looking for that really suits everybody.
100%. Yes. Some people think like I don't know. I think some people think just like t-shirts like pop out of thin air.
But I like the collar.
The
on
collar's
Shaka.
huge.
Yeah, and
It's
they
a
print-
max
they print-
heavyweight.
They print it nice.
Oh, they print. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
because I print one in each state.
Yeah.
I manual at
I
least
saw-
one.
yeah, I
In each shop. Yeah. So there's always one shirt that's fucked up in every state. I'm just kidding. No, I've learned. I'm
You
definitely
should
more
mark
comfortable.
that one. And
No,
this is the one I printed.
Yeah, some people have told me that, and I just forget, and then.
Yeah.
Then I could just be like, no, I could just grab one of them and just be like, this is the one. No one would know.
I got a question for you.
Question,
What
yeah.
state are you saving for last?
I have no idea. People ask me that. Yeah.
It's got to either be Hawaii or
No,
Alaska.
it won't. It won't. When I go to Hawaii, it'll be right after I do California.
Okay, and
Yeah.
that might not be the end.
No, it definitely won't be the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you might do Alaska and then come down, and then Hawaii and come back and keep going.
Who knows? I honestly don't know.
You said you don't really know.
No.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm not going to press you on it.
No.
your
Well, so
plan.
Hawaii, it's funny because I went for the first time last year.
Yeah.
My cousins live there right now. He's a travel nurse too, actually.
Okay.
And what's funny is the buttons and pins and stuff. Like when I went over there, I just looked up some like small businesses that I saw that looked cool. Yeah. And this is I don't know, it's got to be like over a year now. I feel like I don't remember when exactly it was. I think it was August of last year, maybe. Anyway, I made some buttons and pins to go over there and give to those small businesses while I was there. Just network, meet some other, entrepreneurs and stuff.
Super nice to do that.
And yeah, it's fun. It's cool to meet new people, new places. And you're always going to have a good reaction when you bring gifts that people don't expect. Like that's something I've learned in business. It doesn't matter how small the gift is. It's something, you know what I mean? Especially if it's handmade too, always.
Man,
but
I really appreciated it.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
But one of them was a screen print shop, and it's called Squeeze Play. Shout out my guy Cedric.
Like it.
And I didn't tell them I was coming. I literally just showed up one day and walked in. And I mean, this is a small shop. They have 2 manuals, and I'm pretty sure both of them are just like, I think one of them's maybe a four color. Mm-hmm. I think that's the max.
Yep.
And the other one's just like maybe a single head or 2 head.
Yep.
And they do. I think they do I don't know if they do embroidery. I know they do. I think they have a DTG in there too. But anyway, I just showed up with the buttons and keychains, and I was like, "Yo, what's up? Like, can I?" Because I had initially had, this is before the full T-shirt idea had fully kind of like come together.
Yeah.
And I was like, because my friend back at home who has his screen print shop, who printed my shirts there, I had been hanging out with him a little bit and was starting to get like interested in like apparel. I had always been interested, but I waited. Because I've been an artist for like 4 years. I waited until I had a really good idea, because I saw a lack of people putting out stuff that had good ideas attached to it. It was just, I thought people were focused too much on the design. Because what I tell people is my design is simple on purpose. It's simple designs, intricate ideas. It's more about the idea and the story behind the T-shirt than the T-shirt itself.
Right.
Anyway, show up. I got all these, and I'm like, yo, can I interview you? Like, I want to do this like tour. Like, and so his interview, like tour, like that was actually where this kind of idea to interview all the shops like initially kind of like came from. It was the first one before I ended up doing any of these. So it's just funny, like Hawaii.
Well,
like
it's super nice of you to do it too.
It's
not like you're staying just down the street. You're like 45 minutes an hour for me to come back.
Oh no, I don't care about this
but
today.
Still, I mean, it's effort.
Well, no, but it's something I want to do. I wanted to meet you for sure too. I mean, and then to be, it's for, like I said earlier, it's for my customers. It's for you guys. I want to be different than anyone else who walks through these doors. I want to support the business that is in turn supporting me beyond just supporting them by ordering.
You sold that very well to Brandon and my wife, and they were like, "You got to do this." I'm like, "All right, well, let's do it."
Beyond just buying the T-shirts, I want to be able to support you guys. You know what I mean? And that's where the buttons and stuff too. And it's nice to to be able to do that. But yeah, it's funny, like the Hawaii, like I already got my shop locked in over there. I got a California shop locked into. I got a screen print friend out there as well already. Nice. So yeah, I mean, there's no plan. There's definitely going to be like some of those states where it's going to be tough, but I think the momentum is only going to continue to build. Like the first press I had was in state 8, and I've already done all those other states without any press. Right. You know what I mean? So there's so many things like that where it's like I have to tell myself, to keep the positivity and stuff like that up. But
you will.
I mean, the amount of people I've met through the trip so far, and the other business owners and entrepreneurs, it's been incredible. I mean, and I think the full impact of what it's going to have, I think, is yet to be seen for anyone too. So it's cool to see how much it continues to do that. You know what I mean? So I really appreciate you guys being able to print my shirts, especially so quickly. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing that is tough to call these shots, and they're like, well, when do you need them? And I'm like, well,
this is the worst time of the year.
I know. Yeah, it is. Everyone's
at least us in this area, because
a lot of shops. Maryland, it was the same thing. It was the same thing.
But we always try to stay ahead enough so that if there's a last minute job, and God bless our customers, a lot of them
do that because they don't know the process.
As much as you educate, they're in their own worlds, and like, crap, we dropped the ball, and we always try to stay ahead.
Yes, stay
whatever
ready.
It takes.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, are we ahead? He's like, no, we're right kind of there. And then I'll stay and print like a couple jobs at night and just some breathing room.
Yeah.
Because if a job comes in and they know they're last minute and they know they got to pay in a rush fee and
They'll
they're
do
still
it, yeah.
happy to do it, they
They'll
just
do it.
need their shirts.
Yeah.
We can get it done. You
Yeah.
know, and that's how you build relationships.
100%.
So we can always fit stuff in.
100%. No,
usually.
I'm
We don't
grateful.
tell our customers that. No.
I'm very grateful for it because it's like it's doing me a favor, you know. Like I'm hopefully like that's where I think the mutual beneficial like thing happens with each shop is that like by me like hopefully like going up a step beyond it, like a lot of people can kind of do me a favor too. But yeah, dude, we can. It's 50 shirts, like we can get them fucking knocked out in a day.
No. Plus, it's cool what you're doing, man. It's
I
very,
appreciate that.
You know, you sound like, obviously Brandon's like, we both have pretty good radar about people. And he's,
Yeah.
He sounds like a really smart, nice person. It's a cool thing he's doing. He's got a great following already. He's gonna have a bigger following. I'm like, well, let's meet this guy. Let's do it. So yeah.
That's awesome. Any advice you would give to anyone who wants to start potentially their own apparel brand, like streetwear, anything that make their own clothes, or anyone who wants to start screen printing?
Well, that's the dream. That's the dream. I mean, I'd love to do it, but once you start a business, it's hard to find the time and the creative energy, right, outside of what you're doing for your customers. So,
But specific kind of things
I
you've
don't-
seen within the.
I've thought about it a lot. I
Yeah.
don't have any advice. I don't have any, because we haven't done it. I mean, but that is like the dream. If I could print a shirt that I know normally selling for $6 or $7 or $8 and sell it for 20, well, obviously that would be amazing.
So you would like to start your own
Hell
apparel
yeah.
brand? Oh, really?
Heck yeah.
Let's do it.
I know. Let's do it.
Come
but-
on. What are we waiting on?
Let's do it, man. I'm in.
I'll
That
help.
is the dream. Anybody that owns a screen print shop, the dream is to come up with some, life.
Well,
is
some
good.
people start by they start by starting a brand, and then the brand doesn't really kind of, or they still end up doing the brand, but they kind of fall in love with screen printing, and they're like, well, if I can just make some bread off the screen printing to fund my brand too on the side, like why not do both?
Well, plus you're saving even that much more margin, even if you are retail.
Because you're printing for yourself.
We don't sell anything retail. The retail dollars, that's the dream.
You know what's funny is the shop in Richmond, my guy Eric.
Yeah.
They have a showroom too, and he has some shirts that he's printed that he tries to sell, and he's got them on his website. And do you know the Virginia, the like the state like slogan?
No.
Virginia is for lovers.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny because Guster is for lovers.
Okay.
Stickers.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, Eric made a shirt making fun of that.
Okay.
Not making fun of it, but like, I mean, just memeing it a little bit. And he just printed Richmond is for fuckers. And so like he was like showed it off in the tour, and he's like, I've made tens of dollars off this design right here.
Tens of dollars.
And I'm like, I love you, Eric.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, I mean, I think you could if you wanted. It's however much time you want to put into it as ever much like.
It's not like we're ever going to make the apparel ourselves. And I mean, maybe you get to a point where you order this stuff by the tens of thousands from China and kind of how you want it to feel and look. But really,
You're not going to get your own garments
we
made.
have a good knowledge of what shirts are
I
really
know.
nice every year and what sells good and what people like.
And you have a super dope graphic designer artist, Brandon, right
Don't
here.
tear away labels now, so you could label all your own stuff and sell. It's just coming up with that idea. That's the dream.
It's the powers in the idea. That's why I would tell people at the store, I'm proving that I can sell 50 T-shirts in 50 states for $50 each, but I'm proving that I can travel the country, not off of selling T-shirts or making money, but off of one idea. The idea is what fuels the whole thing. The idea is everything. It has nothing to do with T-shirts.
Yeah.
But
It's 50 times 50 times 50. 125?
yeah.
Yeah.
125 grand in revenue, $2,500 per
Gross.
state.
Yes, gross.
Yeah, gross revenue, not profit. But okay, so no necessary, I guess, advice for people who want to start their own brand besides, I guess, just doing it. Because I mean, that would be the only advice you give is, look, I've never done it, but if I did, then it would just be,
I mean, if
just
you
go
think
do
the
it.
next life is good,
We'll come up with
I'll
something.
print all the stuff for you. And we'll
I actually did come
split
up.
the retail dollars, and we'll still make.
Well, I did come up with probably the best thing I've ever designed ever on anything. But I put it on a T-shirt when I was in Baltimore, in Maryland.
Yeah.
The Orioles. I went to a game.
Yeah.
They're the O's, obviously.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what am I? I wanted to wear an Oriole shirt. I didn't want to buy one. Obviously, I wanted to make my own.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell do I want to put on this T-shirt? I can't draw a fucking bird with a spray paint can, and I've spray painted for 4 fucking years, and I still can't do that.
Right.
But I was like, well, shit, I can't draw a bird. I can do a O. And then I was like, all right, I figured out the front design, and then I came up with the back design because I was like, well, how do you incorporate O's into anything? And then I'm like, well, there's X's and O's. And then I'm like, oh, X's and O's, tic-tac-toe. And then what I did is I drew a tic-tac-toe board.
Yeah.
O's in 3 on the diagonal. Yeah. O's always win. And they beat, exactly, in orange. And the board is black and the X's are black. So it's like, it was a cool ass design. And so I went to the game. A bunch of people came up to me like, yo, where'd you, that shirt's sick. So I might end up actually getting that screen printed with the shop there in Maryland and do like some sort of like, small kind of like capsule release or something. But yeah, we'll come up with an idea. Don't worry.
Every once in a while, we'll get a call for, maybe twice a year. I've got this line, this thing I want to try to get going, and it's always the hardest thing is you don't want to crush their dreams.
Yeah.
But they're like ordering the minimums.
Yeah.
And they want to have all these.
And they don't know what they're doing. I mean, but they have a million questions, and it's just I mean, that's where it's like the disconnect. Like if you're gonna be doing that, you need to have your ducks in a row. You need to know what you're talking about, or you need to go to a shop that is gonna give you the time to come in and just sit and kind of watch and see what's going on and what actually like happens. With
Shopify and all these tools now, you can set up your own store and like
drop ship and
yeah.
Okay. Well, any advice for anyone who would like want to start their own screen printing business?
Don't do it. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, it's a lot of work. It's a lot to learn, but it really, unless you're running huge jobs, which we don't do, and most people don't, you got to be a really, really big, well-established shop to be doing those types of jobs. It's you're kind of you're building something up and you're tearing it down the next day. So it always keeps you on your toes. You just got to come to work every day, just willing to. Sometimes it doesn't go exactly how you're thinking it's going to go. You think one job's going to take an hour or 2 to set up, and it takes you all day to set up to get it printing the right way. Other jobs you're planning on 3 or 4 hours, and it goes quick. So it's just you just got to roll with the punches. Sometimes it's late night, sometimes it's early mornings. You just got to get up and off the ground and do this. You got to have a little bit of money, but you got to more just a no
work ethic,
attitude, no die attitude, and you'll get there. It's a huge industry, and a lot of people buy this stuff. So as long as you're personable and you kind of know some people in the area and you get the ball rolling, you just keep your head down and stick with it. You can do it.
You can eat. There's enough. Eat. Yeah, there's enough out there.
And then like I said, 5-6 years of being comfortable with being uncomfortable, and then you get to the point where the ball is rolling big enough where you can start to breathe and choose. Pick and choose your customers.
Pick and choose the work you do.
and the workload. We don't do 6 pieces or 12 pieces anymore. It just doesn't make sense. We can't charge enough for sure.
Yeah.
And it stinks because 13 years ago I'd take anything.
Yeah.
Just to get.
Oh, you want T-shirts? Cool.
Just to get the ball rolling, right? But now we're still less than a lot of industry shops as far as minimums. We're still lower than that, but we're not the lowest on the block anymore. We're not the cheapest.
Yeah.
We have great quality and great turnaround.
Yeah. And it's effective and efficient, great prints, great, quick. I mean, it's answered the phone right away. A lot of shops I'm calling in these states, they don't answer the phone. I mean, it's just not.
A lot of people middleman this work too.
Yeah.
A lot of people take the orders. They don't even do any of the production.
They call custom ink.
Yeah. So we love that. We scream that. We do everything in-house. We do the graphic design, the embroidery, the screen printing. We do everything in-house.
Love it.
And it's
love
family
it.
owned and operated. So
love it, and it will continue to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah. Because Brandon is family.
Exactly.
Whether one of my 3 kids wants to do it.
Well, the shop that I worked with in Savannah, Georgia, it's 2nd generation owned,
Nice.
and then she has 2 or 3 children as well. I had asked her the same question. I was like, "Do you think?" And then she was like, "Yeah, my son. He's like, I'm gonna take," because the name of their shop is Celebrities.
Okay. Tricky.
So she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna take over Celebrities one day."
Nice.
All that stuff, which is just it's cool to see that. It's like so many stories. Like, I mean, that's just. I mean, family-owned businesses in general are definitely just something to that are definitely something to promote and be aware of. You know what I mean? Because it's like there's history behind that, and it's something that you should definitely want to support in your area if there are
I don't
family-owned
think T-shirts
businesses.
ever going out of style.
They're not.
You know,
They're not. If
hopefully.
anything, they're going more into style.
Yeah.
Anything you want to leave with the people about NLC, how to support, how they can order T-shirts? Do you guys ship, right?
Well, luckily, you know, with this industry, people do like to deal local
Yeah.
because they can come in, they can look at the shirts, you know, pick out the exact shirt they want, go over pricing, go over their designs. It's very easy to do everything over the phone or via email, which is why, you know, there's 1,000 companies online that you can use, but the benefit of using local is because besides just keeping your dollars local,
Customer service is going to be there.
Customer service is better. You can come pick your stuff up. We can deliver it. We do a lot of that. But basically, just leaving is.
These are real Mainers. Is that what we?
Yeah.
What we call y'all, Mainers?
Yeah. So I think that's why a lot of people in a lot of different areas, they do work local, especially with this type of business.
So if you're in Maine and you want T-shirts,
Yeah, so
this is the only spot.
NLCINK.com, sales at NLCINK.com, 207-453-7465. Give us a shout, throw us an email. We can basically do everything right over email. We do ship out some, maybe 10-15% of our business we ship, but most of it is just local businesses and schools and camps. But on closing, I just want to wish Zach, my
Yes.
man, best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Dude, you're a great guy.
You are as well.
I'm glad
Thank you.
we decided to do this and work with you, and I wish you the best luck, man.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Everyone, keep investing in yourself. Love you guys. Like, subscribe. Please support NLC Inc. If you're in Maine, this is the only spot to get your T-shirts made. By far none. This is the spot.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.